welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Biomutant and crafting. Now there was recently a video from Game Informer which has a very short little section about crafting, so we're going to take a look at it and try and break it down the best that we can. Before we get into it though, hit that like button. Liking this video means more people get to see it. If you're new around here, subscribe and hit the little notification bell. Sometimes you won't see my videos in your sub box because YouTube is broken, so make sure you hit that notification bell. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think about this crafting system. Does it make you excited? What are you going to build first? So firstly, we're going to have a look at the kind of UI and how it's set out. So over here on the right, you can see that you have the damage numbers, what type of weapon you're using, and your attributes in terms of arm piercing and all that kind of stuff. Your magazine size, your reload speed. And then in the bottom right, we have an intrinsic perk. Now, I think this perk is selected with the base type. I don't think it's so you can craft onto it. Like you get a base type and it has a perk on it, and then you add add-ons to the weapon, or at least that's how it seems. So I think maybe these intrinsic perks are on the different rarities. So maybe the rare has, you know, specific intrinsic perks that you can have. Maybe the green, common or uncommon, whatever it is in this game, can't have perks. I don't know yet. Or maybe it's just random all over different base types. But some base types will have an intrinsic perk by the looks of it, which is great, which means that, you know, your min-maxing is more refined this way. So you're going to have to find more base types to find good perks that you want, and then have some add-ons on top of it. Over here on the left are the base types that you can select. They have the singularity shotgun highlighted right now, but if we have a look at the little icons, we have all of your base types, and then I think probably pistol, rifle, shotgun, and automatic rifle, because that's kind of like a full clip of bullets. And you know, you can make a lot of other different types of weapons, and especially when it comes to melee as well. Melee is probably going to have 3 or 4 also. In fact, I think it's unarmed one-handed slash, 2 dual wielding one-handed slashes, 2-handed melee, and some sort of like big hammer weapon, I think. So, you know, there's a lot to be crafted here. There's a lot to be done. At the bottom down here, we have the crafting cost, and it will show you all the different materials. And I'm pretty sure that's probably metal, wood, plastic. I don't think it's water, rubber, and I think that last one's called e-waste. I'm not sure what that is or how you get it, but it's there. And I believe the green numbers are probably showing your total amount of materials you need so far, and then at the end when you finish creating it, you craft it and it will use all the materials that they need to. I don't think selecting this base type uses that material. It's just showing you how far along you are in terms of crafting costs. In the top left, we have a star rating, what type of weapon, the name, rarity, quality, and material. Now, quality and material, I don't know what they do because there's no weapon degradation in this game. Weapons don't break, so I'm not sure what quality stands for in that sense. Material really doesn't change anything to do with the aesthetic of the gun, so it's not like changing the material to rock coated itself. That's just a name by the looks of it. But it does seem the higher the number after the words, the better off you're going to be. Probably increase your damage quite a lot and increase the star rating and potentially even rarity, because the rarities are a little bit different in this game. You have green, purple, orange, and red being legendary, but the rarity number there where it says rarity 40 determines the name of the actual part that you're using. So you can have a rarity 40 rare, but then a rarity 100 ultimate. And I don't know how that works in the different colors, but I think the rarity just stands for like how obviously rare it is and unique it is in terms of a specific base type, or as a weapon whole, when you add on the add-ons, it's going to change that rarity number. But what you started out with was an orange rare. If you start out with a legendary, the legendary can also get to rarity 100 and have a different name, ultimate, grand, various different names. So it's a little bit more intricate when it comes to the actual rarities. But so far it just looks like there's 4 rarity colors, and then each of those colors has a rarity rating, which changes the name of the rarity, and potentially also that is tied into how many stars you have on a weapon, but I'm not sure about that either. I'm really interested to see how many stars you can get max. You know, 5 is probably where it's going to be, but maybe it'll go up to 10. Who knows? And for a very little brief period of time, they showed this base type, which is a rifle base type, and it's called the anti-materia. Now, it has all the same sort of stuff we've already seen, but there are a few things here I wanted to point out. This is a biohazard base type, so when you're using this weapon, it's going to intrinsically have biohazard bullets, etc, etc. Now, I say this intrinsically because I also know there are modules, consumables that you can use to attach heat and frost and biohazard and radioactiveness, all of those different types to your gun for a single clip. So you tie it onto your gun and it does freeze bullets, or it does biohazard bullets for a clip, maybe 2 clips, I'm not sure, but they are a consumable that you can use throughout the game. But this specifically has biohazard intrinsically worked into the gun. So whatever you use, you'll be doing biohazard damage. And what's also interesting here is level requirement and attribute requirement, which I never saw coming in this game. It seems like some base types, for whatever reason, are going to need you to be a certain level. There's no kind of like idea why that is. Maybe it is tied into the biohazard, I don't know. But it just seems a little bit limiting. However, you know, as you go through the game, you're going to find a whole bunch of stuff because there are so many things to collect in this game. So I don't think you have to worry about it too much. The interesting thing here for me is the attribute requirement, vitality 30. Now, I could kind of get on board with this if it was like you needed a certain amount of strength to be able to use a certain type of melee weapon, because, you know, that makes sense thematically. Like, the stronger you are, the more you can use this big hammer weapon, you know what I mean? But having vitality increased to be able to use this weapon really doesn't kind of line up for me. Vitality is obviously your health, etc. So you need more health to be able to use this weapon, maybe because it's a biohazard, maybe the biohazard poisons you, and that's the kind of idea behind it. I don't know. However, in this game, I believe your attributes are tied to 1 attribute point equates to 10 of whatever you put it into. So if you start the game with 20 vitality, you only need to put 1 attribute point into vitality to be able to use this weapon. And that's kind of all we can see right now. However, I do know that there are going to be a lot of add-ons and stuff that you can find throughout the game, a lot of base types, things that are kind of rare and unique are probably going to be hidden away somewhere special, like you have to go do something or find like a secret cave to be able to get the really unique stuff. And I cannot wait to see just how vast this crafting system is. I do, however, believe that once you get to probably a certain level or a certain base type that you really like, everything else isn't really going to matter. You're just going to constantly change the add-ons to that weapon that you have when you get better add-ons throughout the game. For instance, you could probably have a legendary shotgun add-on, which is really good, but all the extra things that you put on it, like the handle and the grip and the magazine, might all be greens and might not be that good. They're just going to be really good for that moment. But as you level up throughout the game, you may keep that legendary base type, but change the magazine and change the grip to more rare and unique things that you have found. And I'm kind of okay with that, but I also want there to be a reason to use other weapon base types to do other things in the game, rather than just get one broken, overpowered thing and then just keep changing it as you go through the game. I really do hope as well that there are kind of like set weapons that you can find in the world. Maybe you do a bunch of quests or something and you get given a whole entire weapon which is unique or rare or something, and then you can change the parts as you want. I think that would also be pretty cool too. But I am really excited to see just how in-depth this system is. I'm probably going to say there's going to be a cap on materials as well, so that they kind of force you to be able to craft things and change things and try things out. But I do feel like that's not really going to matter, because you're going to be getting a whole bunch of stuff that you can dismantle for mats as well, because any gear that you get, any armors, any weapons, any add-ons, any base types, you know, that don't really suit you or don't give you the right attributes or are too low level and don't really change anything, you could just scrap them away for materials. And as far as I've seen so far, it's random per item. So one item might give you 1 rubber, another item might give you 1 of every material. So it's going to be, you know, a good way of always being out and collecting things and just getting things in your inventory to be able to scrap them for mats, to be able to craft things that you really want to craft. I think the system seems really good. I just want to see how vast and in-depth it is when the game releases. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. What kind of melee weapon are you going to use? What kind of gun are you going to use? And yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.